Welcome to the Love and Mother podcast. I'm your host, Kate Isaac, and we are diving into all things motherhood on this show, but in particular, all centering around finding peace, purpose, Jesus, and joy. Modern mama culture focuses on the hard and the hot mess, the overwhelm and the distraction, but I am here to point you to an easier, better way. I want to help you cultivate a faithful heart and home amidst the mess and the mundane and equip you for the everyday challenges motherhood entails. I help you find freedom, purpose, and simplicity through a gospel-focused lens. Let's ditch the overwhelm, get our hearts right, and enjoy every good and hard moment of this sacred calling. Seeing mamas on mission fills me right up, and I would love if you would allow my words to inspire and impact you today. Let's get started. Well, hello, beautiful mamas, and welcome back to another episode. I have fallen off the edge of the earth in podcast world, and it has been 6 months since I released an episode, so I appreciate you checking in and getting caught up, and I just want to welcome you back because we are back. Things are going to be better than ever, and I'm excited to be back here. I left you guys in a very emotional and upheaval time of my life. So we had a little guy in foster care for, I guess, around a year at that point, and it was looking like we were going to be able to adopt him for quite some time. And then kind of near the end of that, a family member came forward and we were transitioning him. So that was really hard and emotional on all of us, and especially just with everything going on with COVID, my husband not working. I decided to drop the podcast for a little while and pick it back up, which is the beautiful thing about podcasts. And then after he left, we decided to embark on this big dream that God had put on our hearts, and we didn't know exactly when or how it was all going to happen, but we decided now was the time. And in December, we packed up our entire family and moved to Nicaragua. So I am coming to you from my little wooden closet. The sound here, there's always some sort of tropical bird or something. I literally live in the middle of the jungle right now. So I hope the sound is okay. I'm standing in my closet hoping to kind of block out all the tropical noises, which you probably don't mind actually. You know, you might hear the howler monkeys and whatnot. Anyways, I am back, and this podcast is going to be better than ever. We have a new intro. We're kind of changing the focus a little bit, still talking about what I talked about before, but I'm not really going to talk about foster care and adoption. Not that I did a ton on the podcast. That was more content that I put out on YouTube. So if you want that kind of stuff, it'll still be on YouTube. But here we're going to really be cultivating our hearts and homes, and I really want to help lead you guys to a place of simplicity. Minimalism changed my life to the point that I now am finally living in Nicaragua, this lifelong dream, or not lifelong, but I would say I've had this dream on my heart for at least 4 or 5 years and just didn't know how it was ever going to happen. We're about to buy a home mortgage free. Life is just good. And there was a time in my motherhood where I was very overwhelmed and distracted, but when I got my priorities right, I put God first, and I really tried my best to be faithful to Him as He is to me. Things just fell into place a lot better, and I went through a minimalism journey. I love goal setting, productivity, things like that. So anything like that is what you're going to hear here. So I hope you guys stay tuned. Today we're going to talk about losing our identity in motherhood. And this certainly happened for me, and I know it happens for many mamas, if not all, in some degree or another. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about losing our identity and how we can find it again. So first of all, no, you are not alone. What I'm about to share with you comes from a very vulnerable place. How losing my identity kind of played out in my own personal life. We're going to talk about how we as moms get to the point where we lose ourselves, we lose our identity, and how we wade our way through to find a better version of ourselves. But there is definitely a messy middle we are going to discuss, because getting from the point of lost to found has a whole lot of mess in between. So first, we're going to talk about why we lose our identity once we become a mom, and how the more kids we have, the harder it might be to find again. I want to start off with some encouragement though, because you are not lost, even though you may feel that way right now. You are in process. You are evolving into a better version of yourself. You are becoming more. God uses motherhood to sanctify us greatly. You are becoming a godlier, wiser, deeper, more connected version of yourself. In so many ways, the birth of our first child births a new version of us, and it is okay to grieve parts of the old version. But when we accept that, yes, even though motherhood is crazy hard sometimes, it is also the most incredible gift. Not only because we have these amazing tiny humans to love forever, but we become better people in the process. If you ask me, Mothers are the strongest form of human on the planet. We are strong, we are soft, we are someone's safe place. We are love, we are life-giving, we are problem solvers, we are action takers, we are advocates, we are resilient. We are amazing. Moms, I am totally for moms. If you haven't got that already from the name of my podcast, I just really value the role of mother, and I think it's something to be honored, and I want to help other moms really step into the best version of themselves in being a mother and becoming a mother. I'm so thankful God made me a woman. Sure, there may be some things that are easier for guys, but God made me a woman, a mother. It truly is the greatest gift I've ever been given. And now that I'm a mom, sure, there's parts of me I will forever miss, freedom being the biggest one, but I know I could never have grown into the version of me I am today without the gift of motherhood. So let's identify some of the whys of why we lose ourselves, and then we're going to talk about how we can find our better, more amazing selves again. So moms lose their identity because freedom to do and go as we please is gone. I'm starting here because this was the biggest impact on me. I am someone who really enjoys freedom. I know we all do to some point, but I really enjoy freedom. Alone time to me, to go and do as I please, the ability to move out of any negative or hard situation, to chase all my crazy dreams, to eat what I want, work out when I want, sleep when I want. That was all gone when I became a mom. It didn't take long after staying awake 2 days straight off pure adrenaline and love after the birth of my oldest, Lilia, to realize life and my freedom would never be the same again. I think so often when we're pregnant for the first time, we think that baby is just going to adapt to our life, but we quickly realize it's the other way around. And that can be tricky to navigate, and we will get there, but let's talk about another reason we lose our identity to motherhood first. So we lose our identity because all of a sudden our life now revolves around our kids. It starts with their feeding schedule, and it doesn't take long to realize that these tiny humans must be fed in short, regular intervals or their crazy side comes out. Then it's their sleeping schedule. Sure, some babies are more easygoing and will nap wherever, but Lilia very quickly taught me the world was overwhelming for her, and she needed to go back to sleep every hour or so, or she would become an overtired, raging maniac who would scream and cause me to have crying meltdowns in public because I felt like the worst mom ever. Then we move into those ever so sanctifying toddler years. Well, God made toddlers to teach moms a thing or two, that's for sure. It starts around 15 months when they start pulling out or pulling off everything they can get those tiny grubby hands on, ripping pages out of books, dumping the dog food and water and eating it too, putting sand in their mouth, somehow finding a black Sharpie and drawing all over your walls and your white duvet, and oh, the toilet paper roll. We can't forget how that becomes the favorite toy. Unroll it, put it everywhere, rip it up, and while we're in the bathroom, let's get the toothpaste and smear it all over the place too. Toddlers aren't for the faint of heart. Good thing they're so dang cute at this age with all the ways they're learning and growing. I have 2 biological children, an adopted daughter, and I have fostered 9 other babies or toddlers. So I have quite some experience in this area. And as much as I love how cute they are at this stage, they can also drive you a little crazy. So very quickly, we learn that our new life revolves around the tiny humans and that our pregnancy dreams of packing them up for an all-day shopping trip or girls' weekend where they'll just adapt and sleep and do great. That's just so unrealistic. P.S. I hear when your oldest turns babysitting age, the freedom comes back a little bit. So let's hold on, Mama. So another reason moms lose their identity is because their job used to be so important and now it's non-existent, less hours, or maybe completely changed. Likely, before you became a mom, you had a job, some sort of career. Pre-kids, your job was likely your biggest responsibility. You got dressed up for the office or left super early in the morning for a long commute, arriving home late in the evening. You may have loved your job and really felt important in the work that you did. I was a hairstylist and I loved it, but I learned quickly that my clients don't care if my baby didn't sleep or was sick. I mean, they cared, but they still wanted their hair done. My long 12-hour days were no longer possible, and the hour I used to spend getting ready, picking out my outfit, putting on makeup, and doing my hair was no longer existent. Then I got pregnant again when my first was only 8 months old, so I worked as a receptionist in a spa for a time, because rebuilding my hair clientele just to leave them again didn't seem fair to them or me. All this to say, my working life changed dramatically, and I adapted as I needed to. At one time, having a salon in my house to work at nap times and when my husband was home. When I had 2 little ones, just before I became a foster parent, I worked an evening and weekend job at a casino to contribute to our family income, but not to miss out on time with my kids. I would leave around 4 and not get home till around 1 in the morning. And as much as I loved the time with the kids, it was a really hard schedule to keep. Then after that, I decided to pivot into learning a new career in web design and blogging and content creating so I could work from home whenever I could, because I realized my biggest and most important job was being present for my kids, but knowing I still wanted something else to fulfill my passions and help provide for my family. Some women have to jump right back into work and their babies start going to daycare from 6 weeks old. Come on, United States, give these mamas a decent maternity leave. I think that's insanity that women are expected to go back to work when their babies are only 6 weeks old. Often when they have to go back that early, the feeling of missing their child growing up weighs heavy on their heart. Some moms choose to quit their jobs to focus on raising their family. Some moms simply work less hours and find a balance. But no matter what, your career or working life forever changes in some way or another, even if it doesn't actually tangibly change because you develop this sense of mom guilt where your time just seems so divided. And it's going to take some time and some talking with God to figure out how your working life is now meant to be now that you're a mom. Okay, so here's another reason, and I think a big one for a lot of women. Moms lose their identity because our appearance becomes far less important. I think we all fall in different scales here, but I, for one, specifically remember being a teenager at high school, watching how some moms were dressed when they were dropping their kids off, and absolutely vowing I would never be that frumpy mom. I think I did okay with that vow when I only had one child, but as soon as I was a mom of 2 under 2, my makeup was no longer existent, and this is when I became super comfortable with the top knot. Then I became a foster mom and all the additional work that entailed. Wow, I don't think I even looked in the mirror most days. Now, 9 years into being a mom, I have struck this sweet spot with no longer caring so much about vanity, but also knowing I feel better when I spend a few minutes getting ready. My makeup routine is now more like 5 minutes. I don't wear heels anymore, but I still love when my hair is done and dry shampoo is my best friend. I still like to put my best foot forward, be a good example for my 3 daughters, feel sexy for my husband, and enhance the beauty God has given me. But my looks are no longer wrapped up in what the world's view of pretty is, or trying to get men's attention like it was before I was married, or wanting my clients to see me as some sort of fashion-forward style icon. These were all things I cared about pre-kids and pre-marriage. My beauty now comes more from inner work, taking care of my body, mind, and soul, developing my character into godly attributes, and not completely neglecting my outward appearance for the sake of my kids. It is a beautiful confidence that has come from being a Christ-focused mother and a whole lot of messy middle from there to here. So another reason moms lose their identity is because we never sleep the same way again. You never know true exhaustion until you become a mother. Once those little miracles join our world, we are overtired, sleep-deprived, hormonal and moody, overtouched, and we neglect our own physical and emotional needs. This is okay and all part of it, but it's not okay to stay there. Rest is vital to our moods, to our abilities, to our stress levels. We need to make sure we prioritize rest if we ever think we're going to gain back that piece of our identity. When we function from a perpetual mode of exhaustion, we aren't serving anyone well. But there's good news, there's help. So let's talk about how we find the better version of ourselves again. First, walk closely with the Lord. Maintaining or starting some sort of spiritual practice where you take time to daily connect with your Lord and Creator will be the biggest thing that helps you along this beautiful journey called motherhood. Read your Bible, pray, journal, talk to Him. He will help you. Join a Bible study, listen to scripture in the Dwell app, meditate. Motherhood is busy. Don't neglect your relationship with the Lord. Next, take time for you. This is not overrated. You need to care for yourself in order to care for others well. Shower every day. I know this may seem simple and easy to do, but it's not always. When you are a mom to littles, the days can just roll into each other, and any spare minute you do get, you'll probably feel like sleeping or just not moving. But a shower every day will do wonders for you, and while we're on this topic, spend 5 to 10 minutes to get ready, whether that's a bit of makeup or blow drying your hair. Get dressed. It's okay if it's something comfy, but get out of your PJs. You will feel much better in yoga pants and a cozy sweater than pajamas when the delivery man shows up or a neighbor pops over to borrow some milk. These may seem like really small, simple things, but the act of caring for yourself for just 10 to 20 minutes will help prevent you from feeling like you're in this motherhood rut. Next, find a routine that works. Humans thrive on routine, your kids and you. As quickly as possible, find a routine that serves you well. And yes, our routines will ebb and flow and certainly leave space for that and not be super rigid, but making routine a priority helps with expectations and flow in your day. It prevents that overwhelmed feeling that moms so easily can get sucked into. For me, the way I begin and end my day is non-negotiable, because at least that way, no matter what happens in between, I know I have set myself up for success. I also take sleep routines for my kids very seriously. If you make that a priority, you will be better able to plan your day around their sleep schedule and set them up for success so they're not overtired and cranky in the middle of your grocery store trip. Look into block schedules. It really is a life-changing way to set your day up for productivity and fun so that each day feels purposeful. Next, I want to say focus on your friendships. It is very easy for friendships to get neglected in motherhood, but relationships with other women is vital to our well-being. Friendships will change for sure, especially if you are now a mom and they are not, but I encourage you to be intentional with connecting with women. Get involved with playgroups or Mommy and Me programs. You will meet new people in the same stage of life as you. And for me, even though 9 years later our friendship has changed and we don't see each other anymore, my first mom friend that I met in prenatal class is near and dear to me, and we have so many amazing memories of early motherhood together. Now I have a group of women that are life-giving to me, whether it's playdates or Bible studies or girls' nights, eating cheese and sipping wine. These relationships are so important to me as a woman and mother. I neglected intentional friendship for a long time for the sake of my kids and husband, and I'm so happy things are different today. I am a better mom and wife because of them. All right, while we're on the topic of relationships, let's talk about marriage. Your spouse. He was the person your life revolved around before your kids, and one day when those kids leave, it will be you and him alone again. Divorce statistics are sad, and the marriage commitment has been so downplayed in today's culture. Be intentional. Fight for your marriage. Make him a priority. My kids know my priorities, and they are third on that list. God, Greg, my husband, and them. Communication is the number one killer of marriages today. We don't communicate well, and resentment builds. Have the hard conversations. Communicate your needs, and graciously allow them to communicate theirs. Listen more than you speak. Love them more than you love yourself. Don't forget about date nights and intimacy. Make those things a priority. I've been with my husband for 17 years, married for 12 of them, and I love him more today than I ever have. We are a team in this parenthood thing together, and we communicate our needs and show up for each other. We don't let selfishness creep into our marriage, and when we do, we make sure to check each other on that. Another thing I want to say is pursue your interest. Hobbies are important. Whether it's the gym or an art class or just time alone to read, take some time every week to pursue something not motherhood related. For me, writing, making videos, creating content to help other moms is life-giving to me. I get behind my computer, start typing and creating, and the time passes so quickly. This right here is my passion and my hobby as well as my business. So it's a bonus if you can turn your hobby into a business. Macrame shop on Etsy, perhaps. Next, okay, mamas, here's a hard one, but ask for help. Motherhood was never meant to be done alone. We are created for community. The saying, it takes a village, is so true. Whether it's family or friends or hired help or a mixture of it all, you need it. So don't try to do it all on your own and ask for help. Okay, I got a couple more points for you and then we're going to wrap up. But stay in your lane. Quit the comparison game. Comparison is the thief of joy. And in our social media culture, it is more prevalent now than ever. The mommy wars, the opinions, it can all be too much. Stay in your lane. God gave these babies to you for a reason. You were meant to be their mother. Lean into him, not Instagram. Sure, get advice and read the books, but also lean into your own God-given mother's intuition. No one knows your babies better than you. And finally, give yourself grace. As moms, we can be so hard on ourselves. Give yourself grace. Know it's okay to let go of some things. Know it's okay to instill healthy boundaries. Give yourself time, permission, and space to figure it all out. Nothing changes you quite like motherhood. We change and grow every day. Stop aiming for perfect or when this then that situations. Every day is a gift. You will never have this day again. Be intentional, aim for excellency, but be kind and gentle with yourself. You are a mom and you are amazing. Your kids won't remember all the little details that we lose sleep over. They want a present, calm, and happy mom, so aim for that. So friends, I hope you found this episode helpful today. Save it, bookmark it for when you're feeling out of it or in a rut or just having a rough day, to remind yourself of how amazing you are as a mother, as a woman, as an individual, and remember to give yourself a little bit of grace. Thank you so much for listening today. If you would be so kind as to leave a rating and review, it would be so helpful and help other like-minded mamas to find the podcast. And you can head to lovemotherblog.com. You'll see the podcast tab right at the top, and you can listen to this. Again, find the show notes or listen to any other podcast there. I'm so happy to be back. I can't wait to connect with you ladies again, and I hope you have a wonderful day. God bless you.